Welcome everyone to the DTR podcast. Today is May 18th. It's actually the 1-year anniversary since the Destiny 2 reveal event. I can't believe that was a year ago. That's insane. Hold on. Jake, I do not hear you.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking. Welcome. Our special guest this week, guys, will be Jake Parker. Jake, what's up? It's great to have you here.
What's up, man? Thanks, bud. I appreciate you having me.
Anytime. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming on. It's great. J-Ram and Joker, they do have the night off, so they will not be joining us this week. So we have a packed show tonight. We actually have a lot to talk about. We're going to dive into the TWAB this week. They Bungie actually updated the roadmap, so we are going to be talking about that tonight. We're going to go through the TWAB, talk about Iron Banner. 6v6 is coming back, and a brand new map. Well, kind of a remastered map from D1 is also coming back. We're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to dive into some Tracker Network news to update you guys on some of the video game news that came out this week, such as the Black Ops 4. I'm just going to talk just a little bit about that. And then we're going to dive into our Tell Me Something I Don't Know segment, and then our Last Word segment, and then we're going to end the show there. So, packed show, a lot to talk about over the course of this hour. But before I dive into all of that, I also have some housekeeping things to go over. As always, you guys can find the DTR podcast on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and the Google Play Store at Destiny Tracker Podcast. The show is recorded on Fridays at 7:45 p.m. Eastern, live on twitch.tv/DestinyTrack. If you guys would like to support the show, you guys can subscribe on Apple Podcasts and make sure to leave a review, and then you guys can also follow us on Podbean. Make sure to check out Dan Fenity's show, Side Quest Sunday. You guys can find that on all of your favorite podcast services at Side Quest Sunday, and on Twitter at #SideQuestSunday. All right, Jake, I'm going to pass it on to you. Do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, for sure, man. My name is Jake. For those people that don't know me, I'm the Jake Parker on Twitch. I am a teacher. I am a charity event director. I am a master's degree student. I'm also a Streamlabs support tech. So I do a little bit of everything when I'm not sleeping. I literally have a full schedule of things, and I'm just very, very busy. I try to keep myself as active as possible, and I drink Mountain Dew religiously.
Sweet. So how did you get into content creation?
It actually started off when I was in a motorcycle accident. No joke.
So sorry to hear that.
It made me a better person, I guess, the typical thing. So a long time ago, was it 2015? Yeah, 2015, I was in a motorcycle accident because a lady decided to turn too early, and she was coming head on at me, and I ended up having to get surgery because of that. So while I was on my hiatus, I was off for a few weeks, I discovered Twitch, and I immediately fell in love with the Destiny community. It was one of the very two games that I owned on the Xbox, and after just seeing it and seeing how happy people were and seeing how it was a life-changing experience. It really was. So I decided, why can't I do this? So I took some of my lawsuit settlement and I just bought a streaming setup and I went to town. I decided to get into content creation, and I guess the rest is history.
Wow, nice. If you don't mind me asking, how did you get into teaching?
That was my lifetime goal. I've been teaching since I was 16 years old. So ever since my 10th grade math class, where I got a bloody nose on the first time that I ever taught, I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. I just didn't know how. So I went to college, and now I'm getting my master's in higher ed to run colleges.
Nice. Congrats.
Thank you.
Sweet. So now you talked about you are an event charity director. Do you mind telling us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so one of the things that I promised I was going to do when I became a content creator was find a niche. Find something that somebody's either never done, or take something that somebody's done and make it better. And one of the things that I know about the Destiny community, which is, I'm pretty sure you would agree, is home, honestly. Yeah. People have been afraid of doing things like reaching out to the competitive community. A lot of people don't see Destiny is a creative, competitive game. They don't think that it would survive in a competitive scene. And part of me just kept denying that. Even though I'm not really a full-on competitive person, people are. And, we wouldn't have the D1 sweat scene and scrim scene like we did back in D1. We had the Guardian Con tournament. We had community-led tournaments when private matches came out. Like, people wanted true competitive. And I had built great relationships here in Las Vegas, and I knew that I could use those connections to do something worthwhile, and I found the opportunity of starting a charity event in October of last year after the Las Vegas shooting that happened on October 1st. We took that, we made a charity event, and then the Luxor Hotel and Casino finally caught wind of it, and they said, we have an arena, can you make a tournament? And I said, this is what we need. And I guess the rest is history. It just fell into place.
Nice. Congrats on that. So what are your current plans for the tournament and the name of the tournament and just things like that?
So the name of the tournament is the Vanguard's charity event. It's benefiting St. Jude. Obviously, the Destiny community has a huge relationship with St. Jude, and I want to continue that tradition. Obviously, this event was inspired a lot by GuardianCon. Seeing a lot of the competitive nature that GuardianCon had brought to the table, I wanted to expand on that, and now we have a full production. There's going to be a solos tournament, which a lot of people are really registering for, a duos tournament, which is going to showcase a whole different playstyle that I don't think Destiny's ever seen before, and then you have, of course, the traditional 4-on-4, which I really think is going to be amazing. I think people are really going to see this tournament, and they're going to say, okay, this is what Destiny needs. How can we expand on this? And the future of competitive Destiny at this point will continue to grow.
So where can we sign up for this event?
Got you. So registration right now is open till the day before the event. It was open till June 1st, but we're going to reach it open a little more. All of the registration links, as well as most information, will be on my Twitter. It's going to be at Parker on Twitch. My pinned tweet has the locations of all 3 different brackets. You can sign up for all 3. And travel to Las Vegas and raise money for charity while having fun playing video games in a new way.
That's so cool. So when is this event happening, and do you guys have any hotels that's sponsoring the event, or any sponsors and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the event is going to be June 22nd to the 24th. Obviously, very close to GuardianCon, just a little bit before. It was the earliest dates I was able to come up with without interfering with things like E3, GuardianCon. It was kind of a mix in between, and it was either that or wait till next year. And I really developed this great relationship with the Luxor Hotel and Casino, which is on the Las Vegas Strip. People don't realize how big that is. Like, you have one of the largest hotels and casinos in the world saying, we want your event. And that is, you can't deny an opportunity like that. So they've really reached out. They've really helped to sponsor a lot of it. We now have Monster Energy involved. They're sponsoring the event. We also have Urban Ice Organics. We have Tiltify. We have Battlefy. We have so many different people backing the event because it's so unique and it's so new. And they want to see Destiny competitive succeed. So much so, Bungie and Activision are now reaching out and saying, we're interested in watching. We want to see what happens.
Nice. Congrats on that. So who are some of the content creators that are going to take part in this event? Or not just content creators, community members?
We've had a lot of it.
If you could just think of it on the top of your head. Sorry to put you on the spot like that.
No, that's totally fine. Some of the people that have really dived into this and really wanted to see what's new and what's probably happening with this. We had people like Grenader Jake, and who was very interested in the event. I don't know if he can still come, but he's extremely excited to see it. We have Butt White from Lab, who's also interested in the event. Tash had to back out at the last second, but he's extremely interested in the event as well. True Vanguard, Fallout Plays, Bones CR, the Cami Cakes, all of these major content creators inside of the directory. We are confirming BSK is actually sending a team out here very shortly, so they're going to be participating in the event. I'm trying to coax in IM to going too. We have Think Again, who BSK had knocked out at GuardianCon, so they're going to be coming out and doing their thing as well. Orbit Gaming, World's Best, and a couple of other ones are still confirming. So a lot of teams and a lot of people are very excited to do something new.
That's awesome. Congrats on that. So let's get into some Destiny talk. What class or classes do you main?
Everybody hates me for this, but it's Hunter Master Race. All 3 of my characters are hunters, man.
Why would they hate you for that?
People don't like hunters.
Really? It's okay. I'm stuck here on the show while other 2 co-hosts, they are Titans. All right, they are Titans. So I'm glad to see another hunter with me on here. What is your favorite thing about D2 so far?
My favorite thing about D2, and I'm sure most people would agree, is the narrative, the deep seated storyline that is so much more expanded than Destiny 1, which it seemed very focused. It was very linear. There wasn't a lot of breakaway, I guess, from Destiny 1's storyline. But looking at Destiny 2, there's so many different variances, and the narrative is so much deeper. We're really understanding the depth of the characters. The PvE experience itself has just exploded, and Bungie really hit home with it. A lot of people are saying that there was kind of a down and out with Destiny 2. I think that it's just getting better. I've never had a bad thing to say about the game.
Sweet. So after watching the reveal event 1 year ago today, what were your first impressions on D2? I know that was a long time ago. Only if you
overwhelmingly positive. Yeah, overwhelmingly positive was really because after Destiny 1, you know, it started my content creation. It started my my love for the Destiny franchise. I knew that I wanted more story. And during the event, they had mentioned we're going to focus so much more on narrative and storyline progression. And that right there was like, oh my God, yes, I need this game now. Can we fast forward? So they followed through with their promise. The game has literally lived up to its expectations, and it's gotten better.
Sweet. Now, is there anything you do not like about the game? Any one thing?
Oh God, divided community, I think, had to be the biggest thing. And I'm pretty sure you definitely agree. People are very. I think there's kind of this back and forth between the PvE community and the PvP community, because PvE has been sharply focused over the last few months. We're just now seeing the rise of the Go Fast update. We just now got the exotic buffs. People are really excited to see Crucible start moving up and see more focus. And I think with the Crucible labs coming up very soon, that's something we've needed for years. And the PvP community is finally getting what they deserve, and they're happy about it. But until this point, people were so worried that their content was being focused on and the community got divided.
Yeah, I agree. So are you more of a PvP person or a PvE person?
More so PvE. I love ingraining myself in a story. I really love kind of, I guess, being my character. I love acting as if the character was me and I'm the one doing all that.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on Warmind? If you had to give a review on Warmind, what would your review be?
Got it. If I had to give it, I would say an 8.5 out of 10. I would definitely say. The story, of course, obviously, with most expansions, or in this case, a DLC, you can't expect the storyline to be super long. But as long as the content is rich, that's going to make up for the fact that you might have maybe 3 or 4 missions to go through. I really felt that they could have expanded and added more missions into it. But what content we got was extremely rich, extremely replayable. Escalation Protocol has done nothing but positive things for the community. People are triggered, and they're happy that they're triggered, which is ironic in itself. And it's really brought a lot of the balance in the PvE content and the PvP content that people are ultimately looking forward to. And it reflects. You can see that inside of Destiny's directory now, where you have 10 to 20,000 viewers average now, compared to, 3 weeks ago when it was 1,000.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal.
Oh, yeah. Is there anything you would have improved on in Warmind? Like, if there's anything that you were like, well, they could have done this differently?
Do you remember Dead Ghost back in Destiny 1?
Yes.
I really would have loved to have seen some of the open world exploration, something like that along those lines. I know a lot of people are really missing that type of open world exploration. And I think it shouldn't be hard to find a way to put lore-based hidden items around the world. I mean, we're obviously doing that with the override frequencies now, which I think is amazing. I think it's great. And we're starting to see that long-term exploring the world, trying to grind out. That's what Destiny's needed. And I think they're finally reaching back and saying, okay, this worked in D1. Let's bring it back.
Oh, yeah. So I'm guessing you have the sleeper sim.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that quest grind? Like, what were your thoughts on that quest grind?
The quest grind was exactly what I wanted it to be. Long, enticing, and challenging. There were things about the quest that you had to actually do things for. You couldn't just go out and say, I'm going to get this, and it's mine. You actually had to you had to go out and find things. You actually had to pull back. You had to use them, and it took time. Investment. Grind. That's what people want, is grind.
Of course. Did you complete the raid layer yet? Or
The new one?
attempted? Yeah, yeah. The
I
new
haven't yet. No, I haven't.
So, what are your thoughts on the idea of a raid layer? Like it's smaller than a raid, but it continues the story of the main raid.
See, I have positive feelings about it, because if you look at it from a publishing perspective, it's not easy to pull out a full-blown, like taking king length raid. It's almost impossible to do so in such a short amount of time. But look at what the raid layers have done. They're becoming challenging. I mean, this new raid layer, you've only had what now, maybe 75 teams over the last week beat it. That's about it. It's challenging. I actually like the idea of raid layers. I like the idea of knowing I'm continuing exploring this new place. The Leviathan is so large. I knew we were going to find more things about it. And I like that they're expanding on it. Now, obviously, I think they're running out of room, but I think that they've done a great job with being able to enable raid-ready content. And it's deep-seated, it's lore-based, and I think a lot of people are starting to realize, hey, these are actual legitimate raids. They're shorter, but they're very rich in content.
Oh, yeah. Would you like to see Bungie continue the story of Callus and the Leviathan in the future?
It's an almost certainty. There's no way that if we've read the lore, Callus knows that there's something out there, and he's trying to use our guardians as protection. He's testing us. He's trying to see our worthiness in protecting, and that leads back into the original parts of Destiny 2 after we beat Gaul. And we see the Pyramidian shaped ships that are out there, which are, based on My Name is Bife, is pure darkness. Yeah. So he knows that. He knows there's things out there.
That's exciting. I honestly hope this fall continues that story. I personally, if it is a Savathun expansion, I won't be like 100% upset. I'm still going to be happy because it's new story. But I would like to see them continue the story of Callus for this fall.
I agree. 100%.
Like oh yeah. So escalation protocol. Let's just talk about that a bit. So you kind of talked about it earlier. You like what they are doing with that. How would you like to see that improved?
Escalation protocol was exactly what Destiny needed. A horde mode based objective, and I think a lot of people are going to agree with this. Destiny needs objectification. They need things that people have an objective to do. And Crucible, especially on the same side, a lot of people are like, Crucible needs objective-based games like Rift coming back, Griffball, whatever it is from Halo. For Escalation Protocol, that's exactly what it is. There's an objective that you have to complete. You have a set amount of time, and it's difficult. It is challenging. It's so impossible to do on your own, and it requires you to really immerse yourself and include other people. It's just amazing. One of the things I would do to improve it would be to, I think Triple Rec hit this very well, is to enable some type of matchmaking opportunity to, dependent on your light level or whatever it is, to allow you to team up with people looking for the same thing, join a match in progress or whatever it is. I think that would make it better.
I agree, because sometimes when I go, it's like me and some other person, or like me and 2 other people. It's like not really a lot of us there. I have yet to see a 9-person team there fighting it, me personally. But hopefully this weekend I can get that. But I would love to see some type of PoE, President of Elders, in D2, because I feel like that was fun in D1. Like, not the same concept, but an improved version of that, because again, that wasn't perfect either. So I would really like to see that improved. What are your dreams and hopes for the fall expansion?
The dreams and hopes for the fall expansion, this is going to be the one that is, I guess in a way the community says make or break. And I disagree with that concept. I think that's a little overarching. What I want to see is the community feedback from the summit really be included. Bungie, and we've already seen that Bungie has been so much more transparent with their roadmap. Their social media presence is so much more positive. People are really changing their mind about what Destiny was to what it's becoming, and that's so good to see. But in order to keep that going, they have to fall through on their promises. They need to continue making sure that now that they have this summit, they got all this feedback, that they're doing it, that they're actually implementing what the community has asked for to make that Destiny 2 experience just that much better. And I have no doubt that they're going to.
So what is something that you are personally looking for in this fall expansion?
I want grind. I want absolute grind. And that can come in the form of story, more exposed, lore-based exploration in the map, better matchmaking connections. I would love to see the hint of dedicated server possibilities. I would love to see that. I think we've been screaming that for 3 years, and Bungie still has yet to do that.
Well, you can't really blame them. Also, it's also Activision, because they are also the ones behind it. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off on that. Just want to.
You're good. You're good. No, I completely understand. Yeah. I think the biggest thing that I want out of it is because I'm a story guy. I want to know that there's a story that expands tenfold and takes me back through the entire D2 experience. Something that allows me to return, continue, return again, continue again. Something that just takes my time.
Yeah. So when you say grind, what type of grind exactly are you trying to look for? Because there's that grind where you have to just like grind for one material, and it gets so repetitive and boring. Like, so when you say grind, what exactly are you trying to look for? Well, think back, see?
Think back to Destiny 1's exotic quests. Now, those were the perfect balance of including yourself in PvE, PvP. You did have to do resource finding, but that's the type of grind we're looking for. We're looking for objective-based grinding, not repetitive. You know, obviously you're right. Repetitive makes it boring. Yeah. But where there's an end result that people genuinely want, and Escalation Protocol hit that really well. Yeah. Because there's an item that recycles every week. So now people want it. People do it. There's something at the end that they want.
Yeah. So something like the Touch of Malice quest or the exotic sword quest from D1, felt like quests like that, because there is like certain grinds that are just like not that fun, where you just have to keep grinding for material. Like you have to do a public event or something and hope for something to drop, and you're there for like 5 hours and you only got like 5 of the things that you need. I know I'm exaggerating, but still, like, that's a repetitive boring grind. Is there any features you would like to see come to the game in the fall expansion?
Oh yeah, I know. I got the map up. I'm actually looking at the roadmap as we speak.
Yeah, we could talk about that too.
Yeah, one of the things that I would love to continue seeing, I want to see much more expansion on the randomization. I know that they're confirming they're bringing back random rolls. Yeah. I don't want it to just be let's revert it back to what D1 did. I want it to be better, and I think that the community has really given that feedback. Remember the skill trees that we had from subclasses in D1? Imagine that times 5. I want to see extreme. I want to see, and you have to open up those perks. Like on D1, you had to earn your perks. That's something we need back. Don't just give it to us to customize. Yeah. Make us earn it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I will never forget when I got Thorn and I had to level up the gun. Like that was so exciting at the end where I have it fully leveled up. And even exotic bounties, I missed that. Turning in a whole bunch of bounties and then boom, an exotic bounty shows, or even turning one bounty in and my cousin over here turns in 10 and I get an exotic bounty and he doesn't. Like just things like that was fun back in D1.
Oh yeah, the Necrochasm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So are you mostly a console player or a PC player?
I kick myself in the teeth for this, but back when Destiny 1 was on console and it moved into D2, I was one of those people that it's not console versus PC master race, it's Destiny master race. It doesn't matter what platform you're on. And then I played PC, and now I'm starting to realize why people say PC master race, because it is, and I feel bad for changing my mind.
Yeah. I've started playing on PC, but most of my friends are on console, so I'm just like, all right, I always tell people play where your friends are. So just play where your friends are.
100%.
Are there any like specific console features that you would like to see, like a higher frame rate or just anything like that?
I would love, 100%. I would love to see if they could do this. 60 frames a second native support is natural. We should have had it on release. I think that they're probably going to open up that. Maybe come to the next expansion, they're going to realize they should have done it, but they need to optimize their servers first. And enable full keyboard and mouse support outside of Zim. Because, if I'm going to be using keyboard and mouse, I want to know that I have that ability to do so, and they're supporting that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. So what is the most fun you had in Warmind this week?
Oh, God, there's so much. Well, I think I know exactly what it is. The first thing right off the bat was the opening credits, the new music that came up when you loaded up for the first time.
Yes, that I actually downloaded that on my computer to play for the podcast. It's good. It's good. Yeah.
Then because again I'm very story based. The most fun I really ever have is number one, playing a new character inside of a new expansion by myself. Because it forces me to enjoy the content before I include everybody, and a lot of people are like that, but I like to experience new expansions on my own so I can really truly enjoy it and give my unbiased recommended review, and then I'll include everybody because now I'm taking my original new experience by myself and then sharing it with friends.
Yeah. I will have to say for my most fun this week, I'm really enjoying grinding out the quest. Like, I don't have my sleeper sim yet or the exotic source. I'm really like grinding out the quest, and it was just funny because on Sunday I didn't know that you had to shoot one of the, I don't even know what they're called, not the ones for sleeper sim, the ones for the exotic sword, with the Valkyrie. I didn't know that, so I was over here shooting it with something solar, and it kept saying immune, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. And then my friend told me I have to shoot it with the Valkyrie. I was like, makes sense now. Makes 100% sense. Yeah, it made sense. Yeah, because I've been trying to find like a lot of things on my own. I haven't really watched too many guides or anything. I've been trying to figure out a lot of things on my own, and it's so much fun. It's just so much fun just finding out bits and pieces on my own. So I swear I'm having a lot of fun this week.
Me too.
Oh yeah. So let's dive into the roadmap. We did talk about a little bit about that. So our next update is 1.2.1, and that is coming on May 29th, and is going to have faction rally improvements, crucible labs, and exotic armor sandbox changes. So let's start off with the faction rallies. What exactly would you like to see in this faction rallies improvements, quote unquote?
For future war cult to actually win?
Yeah. I agree.
I would definitely love to see I know everybody is like, yeah, I get a new weapon, I get my armor back. Like, I would love to see really new unique perks, like, and I'm talking really unique perks in addition to obviously new content. Don't just have it to where we're going out and finding coins, turning those coins in, hoping to God our faction wins and we get something out of it. Really make us earn something, like really make us pledge our allegiance into things, like actually put a quest in the storyline somewhere and kind of hidden, where if you find it and you complete that quest, it awards you with additional faction rally percentage that you can use to turn back in, and you get a unique perk just for finding it. Like going to a quest that you didn't realize was marked on the map, and now you get something special out of it.
Yeah, I would love to be able to fight against the other factions also. Like, if I'm Future War Cult and this guy over here is Dead Orbit, I want to be able to like fight him some way, somehow. Like, or I would love to just show in the tower, show who's in the lead. That's something I would like. Or even with the flags, even like all three flags next to each other, whichever flag's the highest, that's the one in the lead. Like something like that. I think that would be pretty cool. But yeah, I hope Future War Code actually wins. They have yet to win. Yeah. What is your opinion on them dropping in one new weapon every single faction rally? What are your thoughts on that?
I love the fact that they're putting in new things, and Bungie is really trying to include, and a lot of people don't realize it. It takes so much more to just say, give me a new weapon, and it automatically happens. There's so much more that goes into it, from a social play test. They got to actually make the weapon, balance it out. They got to play test it first, find any bugs. But I love the fact that they're adding new things every time. There's always something new. I would love to see more than just reskins, which I know we've had some issues with in the past. But I think that they're really addressing that, and moving into July, September, we're going to see that.
Oh, yeah. I hope so. Because I just think that faction rallies is such a cool idea. So I would really like to see them really improve it, and I can't wait to see what it's going to be like in September. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's good. So next is the Crucible Labs, and we touched on this earlier. What are your thoughts on that?
Why this is something that really begs the question why we never got it before. This is the game changer for Crucible in so many ways. You're going to allow the public to drop in and truly play test and find what works and what doesn't. This is the type of community feedback that has been growing Bungie's reputation over the last few weeks. And now they're saying, okay, you're going to be active in our development process. That's huge. I will literally say servers will probably explode because the outpouring of support from the Crucible community and the PvE community will be, it's going to be staggering. It leaves me speechless.
I when I first heard about this, I was like, this is exactly what we need. Like, let us be able to go and test out before you put it out in the wild for everyone. Like, I think this is smart. We've been talking about it here on the show for basically almost every episode, that they need something like this, of like a private test server to test things out. Well, not really a private test server, a public test server that we're able to test things out. And I think this is going to be awesome.
I agree.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the exotic armor sandbox changes? Are there any exotic armor that you think needs a buff?
Oh man, I'd imagine that the now that they've actually done it with the weapons, they've really made exotics feel exotic. Now the question is, how are they going to make armor exotics feel exotic? Because I think the biggest thing is perks. I guess there's people that are saying there are exotic weapons that are not functioning like they're supposed to, or that when you use them, it still feels the same. It doesn't feel any different. So if they're really going to be changing the sandbox, and this is something I hadn't kept up with, I guess, this is obviously going to be a plus no matter what. I mean, we're obviously seeing exotic weapons be much more favored now in Crucible and PvE. So it's only natural to know that if they're doing the same thing for armor, we're going to have the same.
Now, did you see Xur is selling Suros this week?
No, I didn't. I haven't been on yet.
Oh, well, sorry to spoil it. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Sorry. Yeah, Xur is selling Suros this week. So just FYI, PSA, if you guys want to go out there and grab that. Do you have the Suros or no?
I do. I got it on a random drop, and I got it at a 373 out of nowhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is your power level?
My highest is 371, and my lowest is 356.
Do you have any tips for people like me who's stuck in the 340, 350 range of how to like climb over that wall?
Milestones are the biggest thing I noticed. Yeah. Even my brother, who just started a brand new character on PC because he's getting ready for the tournament, he said that the grind is significantly harder, and I agree with him.
Yeah.
But your milestones are where you're going to get all your stuff. Don't be afraid to complete milestones that you either haven't done yet or haven't turned in, and make sure before you turn in your milestones, you're already at your highest light, because those milestones are not light level restrictive. They're based on your current light level. Really? It's not like your items where they're locked a couple in. When you get an engram, it's an automatic level. It's not like that anymore. Your milestones are based on your highest level. I
actually did not know that, because I remember right before D2 came out, they always said, I think it was Mark Noseworthy said, you don't even have to put on all your highest light items, like we have some algorithm and it automatically does everything and it calculates everything, and we already know. But wow, I didn't even know that. But that's a great tip. Thank you.
Welcome.
What are your thoughts on the heroic strikes, to how they're harder but the loot isn't that great?
That's definitely, I guess, one of the, not only just that, but they also have the bug right now where if it shows the name, it doesn't count in your heroic strike completion rate. So
yeah, that's true.
They've addressed it. They're fixing it. I think that heroics are exactly where they need to be. I love that there's challenges. I love to see that there's modifiers. It's difficult. It forces you to actually play. You don't just run through anymore. You don't just say, hey, I'm going to get a fire team and just rush through and not kill any enemies and just kill the boss. And that's what we need. And now that heroic strikes are there, obviously fine tune them, give us better rewards at the end.
Yeah.
Make Nightfall the same way.
Yeah. I feel like this game have always had an issue of the loot isn't that great. And I'm glad that they're starting to improve that, which is awesome. I like that. I like that they're improving that. Yeah. So moving right along in the roadmap, this summer in July, we're going to get a new seasonal event, some bounties, expansion 1 and 2 rate layer prestige, PC clan chat, year 1 triumphs, and more exotic sandbox changes. So this new seasonal event, do you think is more like a moment of triumph?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I guess because it's so new. Solstice of Heroes is something we've never heard.
Yeah.
And I guess because of that, all we can do is really predict. Then really, then really think of what it's going to be. It's obviously going to be summer based because it's in July. It's not going to be a Christmas event. But I'm curious. I mean, solstice meaning, you know, flames, fire, you know, and whenever you think of solstice, you think of heat.
Yeah,
so
perfect time.
I'm going to leave my mind curious. I'm going to say I'm looking forward to it, but I don't want to know anything yet.
Yeah. Me personally, I hope it's something that's preparing us for the fall expansion, because that's something that I've always wanted Bungie to do. Yeah, they did it throughout D1. They had, oh my god, what was it? Taken show up on Earth right before the Taken King. I feel like something happened right before Rise of Iron. It was the ARG or whatever it was called. That, and like I want something before this event, because the transition between D1 and D2, nothing really happened. So hopefully I can get that this summer with that.
Agreed.
Yeah. And Raid Layer Prestige, are you looking forward to that?
Yes. I know a lot of people in the community were like, why did we not get Prestige in the first raid layer, and why are we getting into the second one now? I think it's more better late than never, which I think is, you know, Destiny 2's really overarching theme right now. It's better that Bungie is doing this now, saving the game and saving all the content in the game. And I think throwing both raid layer Prestiges out at the same time is smart, because you're going to entice people for long-term gaming. And now you're going to see a race to see who can do both at the same time, and people watch that. People love that,
and it gives us something to do throughout this summer, because there is a content gap between May and September. So this would give us something to do in the summer, which Bungie is smart, guys. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep. And then the bounties. I hope the bounty system is really fleshed out and it's good. I hope it's not something with the tokens and all that, or the milestones. I hope it's really like, I'll even say this, something like D1. You go to someone, you pick up a bounty, or even the Nightfall bounties from Zavala. I think that was a great thing that they had after Age of Triumph, well, during Age of Triumph. So hopefully,
definitely agree. I would love to make sure, as long as the bounties have something worthwhile, where there's like a cap on how much you can do to earn something for the week, or the more that you do, the more reputation you get to earn higher tier rewards. As long as there's a grind for it, I think we're in the right track.
Oh yeah, I would even love to see the 10,000 XP bounty again. I don't know if you remember that. Like you have to earn 10,000 XP without dying. That was a lot of fun to complete. That was fun.
It was.
And then this September, we touched on it earlier. We're gonna get gear collections, records, weapon slot changes, which I'm curious to see how that's going to be. Weapon randomization, new gameplay modes, and more that's yet to be revealed. So for the weapon slot changes, what would you like to see for that? Like, what is your perfect weapon slot system?
It's going to definitely go along with, I guess, the randomization of it. But imagine, I'm sure you've played The Division. I'm sure I'm sure you've probably seen how they do their weapons. Imagine that in Destiny ×2, where you're not only taking the parts of the weapon, and you're able to find all the different parts around the world based on the weapons that you have. You can get parts to a weapon you don't even own, and you can customize your weapon from the ground up, from the clip size to the holster, to the barrel, to the bullets that you use. Like, these are the types of things that I'm sure Destiny's had on their radar for a while. And imagine taking that, adding mods to each of those slot changes, and then adding random roll perks to each of that weapons. Imagine having your weapon. That is Destiny 2's future. I can almost predict.
When I first heard about the weapon mods, I thought it was going to be like, oh, you could add like a silencer to certain guns, or you add this and this. So I really hope they flesh out that system a bit more, so you can actually customize the gun the way you want it to be.
Yes.
Even something that I would like to see return from D1 is the Banshee test weapons. That I would love to see that again, because that was fun to do.
It was.
Yeah. The Arms Day orders and things like that. So hopefully they can some way somehow add that back into the game. Yeah. So that is the updated roadmap. They're going to continue to update that until the fall and beyond. Just really quickly, what are your thoughts on that they're calling this Year 2 Season 1 in the fall? Would you like to see Year 5? It's not nothing major, of course.
The way that I see it right now, this is year 2, season 1 is exactly the title we should hear, because it's more of a reflective piece than it is anything just moving forward. We get to see how Bungie did the quote unquote fall from grace, which I guess the community said, and they're rising through the challenges to a new year with new opportunities. And after 1 year, here's how we got better by listening. I think that this is exactly what they needed to call it.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree. Like that, like calling it year 2 shows that, hey, we're back and it's better, and here's why you need to come back, and boom, the fall expansion.
I agree.
Yeah. So Iron Banner is next week. It is 6v6. They're also bringing a new map, well, remastered map. Looks like Bannerfall will be coming back, which I'm excited for, because Bannerfall was my favorite map in D1. So I'm excited to see that coming back. We have brand new ornaments for the weapons. New weapons and new ornaments for the armor. Correction there. And the new ornaments look awesome for the armor, I have to say.
Yeah, they do.
Awesome. So will you be diving into some Iron Banner? The game is
100%. It is my favorite playlist in Destiny. Because you can really solo matchmake and still have just as good and fun of a time as having a full 16 fire team. Like, you can literally go in there and enjoy every second of it and still reap the rewards. And as soon as I saw that it was in Bannerfall, which, by the way, I said if they didn't call it Bannerfell, they really ruined out on a good opportunity. Iron Banner's always been my favorite. It's exactly. I love the reskin maps. I love going back to D1 OG maps like Bannerfall, which is one of my favorites. Like Pantheon. I hope Pantheon comes back. It really looks like they're taking all of these limited time playlists and really trying to expand on them and give people much more replayability. And I think they're doing a great job with the new ornaments, the new weapon types, bringing back the old maps. I would love to see them bring a new map back every time. I think they're doing great, and I'm the only thing that I would say would make it even better is when random rolls come out, make sure that the weapons stay that way in Iron Banner too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, most definitely. And it's great to see that even though they're adding a new map, it's free for all players. So you don't have to own Warmind or Crystal Cyrus in order to play it. So that's good.
I agree.
Have you personally dived into private matches yet in D2?
The only reason why I have is because the charity event is reliant on private matches.
Oh, yeah, of course, of course.
I've been able to really dive in and see what some of the settings are, how you can customize, how you can include people, and it's very promising. I think that there's a couple things they can go back and change, but I love that the connections are extremely quick because you're not server reliant on other people's connections. So it really does seem a lot faster. It's going to open up more gameplay opportunities. Tournaments are going to become huge. And I really see private matches hopefully continuing to expand. I think Bungie should really embrace them and add more features that are private match specific.
So you said that some things that you would change. What would you change?
One of the things that obviously I would bring back is I would say private match specific game modes on top of things like Rift. Oh my God, I miss Rift. I hope that's one of the game modes they talk about in Season 2. But I would love to see private match only game modes, like where you would do something like hide and seek, which Cathalion really did very well in D1 when he did that with his friends. Have that as available as an option. I think that would be a great opportunity and earn points and rewards for doing it. Imagine that.
So what specific private match features would you like to see? Is it just the game modes?
Game modes, I would love to see. It's really difficult just because it's so new. I guess I really need to go back and do more with it. But I would love to see private matches also be included as part of the Crucible Labs test builds. So that way we can go back, we can create our own fire team rather than get matchmaked into it. That way we can really truly test them. We can stress test it, and I can bring 5 of my favorite guys.
I like that idea.
All of us go in, try out all the new stuff, and then report back with what we find.
Oh yeah, that's actually a great idea. I did not even think about that. Nice idea. You should tweet that at them.
I should. I'm gonna do that after this.
So yeah, private matches. I have not dived into private matches yet. I haven't played with any of my friends in that yet. But I used to always go back into D1. I go straight to Bannerfall, and we would do like some 1v1s or do some elimination or things like that. So I'm glad to see private, not private. Bannerfall coming back. Yeah, that. Yeah. But one game mode I would like to see come back is Elimination. I freaking love that game mode from D1. So I personally would like to see that come back. Yeah. Yep. And of course Rift. Rift was fun to play also. Even though it was stressful to play in Iron Banner, it was still a fun game mode to play overall.
Rift was my favorite because it was objective based, but you could still do the Slayer-ish area. You can really just go off and kill. You can really strategize. I think Rift was so underrated, and I feel like that could be something that's expanded on. Could you imagine Mayhem Rift?
Yeah,
just that would be great.
That sounds fun. Sounds very chaotic.
I hope it comes back.
It was just so much fun, like just grabbing the ball and just seeing the whole enemy team just chase after you and just do like a backflip or something. It was just awesome, man. Bungie, if you're listening, please bring in Rift again.
I agree.
Yep. So that is Iron Banner. I would definitely be playing that next week. The game mode is Control. It launches May 22nd and ends Tuesday, May 29th.
Perfect.
That's Iron Banner. Some of the weapons is a silencer, rocket launcher, sniper rifle, submachine gun, and looks like that's a auto rifle and a hand cannon. I think that's I believe that's an auto rifle.
Yes, looks like it.
And the armor ornaments, man, that hunter looks awesome. That hunter really does look awesome. But even
Titan looks like a ninja, man.
Yeah, that Titan armor looks pretty good. The Warlock, I'm not really a fan of Warlock, so
honestly, dude. I don't know, but we'll see.
What is your favorite subclass to main as a hunter?
I've always been a Night Stalker fan, more so because I'm a very aggressive player. I like being up forward. I like to push my enemies and force them to hesitate. Yeah. And being a Night Stalker is great for that because you can also have your the rest of your teams passively following you in an aggressive stance. So as a Night Stalker, I could shoot my tether, and it would tether their team, and then they come from behind me, and they immediately clean up sweep. I get the assist points for it, and we continue going. It's really great strategy, and you can still play aggressive if you're great with guns, but your super can also do very well on its own, so it's almost like a balanced, neutral character.
Yeah, I really enjoy the gunslinger class. Like, in D1, I was mostly a blade dancer, but in D2, I'm really picking the gunslinger. That's me.
Definitely loving Arcstrider's new speed, though.
I actually haven't tested that out yet. I have not tested that out.
Crazy. Like, if they could give, like, you've seen how fast the Dawnblade is now, right?
Yes,
I'd imagine you've seen it.
I've gotten killed by it. Yeah.
imagine all subclasses being that fast. Could you imagine literally just a war of the hyperspeeds?
That would be fun. That would actually be fun to see. Yeah,
I would love to see that.
So that's all the D2 news for this week. Let's just go over some Tracker Network news. It was a big weekend video games, a lot to cover. Yesterday, May 17th, was actually the Black Ops 4 reveal. Treyarch showed it off. There's no campaign in the game. The game is getting a battle royale mode. The game is full on multiplayer. It has a bit of an Overwatch style to it. Much longer TTK now. It takes a while to kill someone, and I actually like what I'm seeing. I feel like the COD community is like split 50-50 on this. I see a lot of people say, "Oh, this is awesome," and then again, a lot of people are saying this is the worst thing ever.
Right.
The team mode is now 5v5. So they scaled back from 6v6. It is 5v5. So Jake, are you a COD fan at all?
I'm not going to consider myself a fan because I've honestly trash talked a lot of Call of Duty before. But I have played and I have enjoyed. I don't know. What questions do you have regarding that?
Like, will you play it?
Oh no, absolutely. This is a new territory for Call of Duty, and I think that they're doing it absolutely right because they're adding in the traditional zombies and the traditional multiplayers, but they're doing something new, and that's adding in battle royale, which right now is so saturated in today's gaming industry. But you got to imagine when you have something as big as Call of Duty entering that, you're challenging the biggest game right now in the world, Fortnite. And I think that it's huge.
I just think that, like, me personally, I don't see COD challenging Fortnite because Fortnite will always have its fans. I feel like the COD community did not transition to Fortnite. Like, Fortnite built its own fan base and community. So I don't really see it challenging it. But I will say I'm curious to see the competitive scene for this game, because watching all the gameplay of it, it looks pretty sweet. It looks sweet. But my only concern is that with all the leaks about this game and the troubled development, like all games have troubled development, but this game is just like there's so much craziness going on behind the scenes. I can't wait to see the finished product.
I think that they're doing it exactly right. I mean, moving into the Battle Royale focus, I think that right now with the market, I think at a way being at its high peak in Battle Royale, I think that doing it before E3 was a smart decision, because now you're setting the bar. And E3, we know we're going to see another Battle Royale game. It's a guarantee. There's no way we're not.
I feel like E3 is going to be dominated this year by Battle Royale mode. Like, so many games are supposed to have a Battle Royale, even Battlefield, but we'll get into that in just a few.
I think that when it comes to Call of Duty, the biggest word I can really throw out here is energy. And Call of Duty's new reveal showing us that new style energy is going to... I really do feel like Fortnite, which obviously dominates the market right now, is starting to slow down both in viewership and in in-game energy. People are doing the same thing over and over again, but it's becoming very stagnant. And people need that new age in-game energy that I think Call of Duty will do very well with.
I agree. I feel like we're at the point in Fortnite where it's starting to decline. I feel like with Season 4, it's starting to decline a bit. So I feel like Epic Games needs to do something to win back some players. Like, I feel 100%. Like TDM mode will work great in Fortnite. Like, some type of TDM mode, you have your teams and you keep respawning until you reach a certain amount of points. PUBG just did that back on their PC test server like a month ago, and it was a success. So clearly that could work in a Battle Royale game. But just more LTMs I would like to see in Fortnite.
I definitely agree, and I think Call of Duty has the opportunity to really showcase a lot of new, I guess, game modes inside their Battle Royale. Fortnite, the problem that's been happening with the new seasons is that it's all it is cosmetic. Now, the game itself, the core of the game, the sandbox of the game has been the same. You might add in a couple new weapons, but the objective is ultimately the same. Shoot your opponents, build to stay alive. Call of Duty has a chance to challenge that, and I think that, you know, as big as the Call of Duty community is, despite how toxic it might be sometimes, that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to learn more about the Battle Royale mode. So I would say I'm excited for BO4. I am going to pre-order it just to play the private beta this summer, but of course you can cancel it. So yeah, so will you pre-order it or no?
I am not going to pre-order it. I think the reason why is because, again, I'm a story mode person. And
I can understand
I think it was smart to get rid of the story mode in the game. I honestly think that the story modes are not really what people look at in Call of Duty. And let's face it, the narrative writing in it has been kind of crappy the last couple of games.
I actually enjoyed World War II. Like, there were some moments I was like, oh, this is like really bad story. But then, but it really caught me. So I actually enjoyed it. Infinite Warfare, I just could not get into. I just could not get into that game at all.
I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, no. But BO4, I want to learn more about it. So Treyarch, guess we'll see you at E3 to learn more about it.
Absolutely.
So, this upcoming Wednesday, May 23rd, I believe that is, we're going to see the review of the next Battlefield game. It is confirmed that the title is Battlefield 5. A lot of leaks are showing that it is going to be a World War II game. I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel like Battlefield is good when it's a modern game, like modern era. So, I'm curious to see how that's going to be. And there are also rumors that that game is also going to have a Battle Royale mode. So if it's World War II, I'm curious to see how that's going to work.
I can definitely... The things that worry me, number one, 2 realism games will ultimately cause what I like to call the upwards V. So you're going to have a game like Battlefield 5, which I guess is confirmed, who is going to have its moment in the sunlight, don't get me wrong, but you're going to see a sharp decline, a very, very, very sharp decline in viewership, usability, and we're going to have another Battleborn moment. It's going to shut down because it's going to be competing with other games that it just can't compete with. And people are trying too hard to lead into the Battle Royales. They're trying too hard to do all of these hyper-realistic games, which I'm not a person who likes realistic games. I like escaping reality. That's what video games were originally about. So I think that it's going to be one of two things: either super successful, or it's going to flop quick. There's no in between.
Because I see a lot of people on my friends list, they still play Battlefield 4. So that game, even though it had a very troubled launch, it still, I would say that was a pretty successful game. So I'm really curious to see how Battlefield 5 will be, because I actually downloaded Battlefield 1 again a few weeks ago, and I was just like, yeah, I know why I stopped playing this game. I just did not enjoy the time period of it. So I'm curious to see how Battlefield 5 will be. And
well, the thing that is the battle royales are the worrisome. I think that's the reason why the Destiny community is so divided, is because people are actually looking forward to hopefully hearing a Destiny battle royale.
I think it can work if Bungie does it right. You have to do it right, because it could look good on paper all you want, but the gameplay of it has to be good. So if they can do it right, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Absolutely.
And then today it was confirmed that Ubisoft actually confirmed that the Division 2 is actually going to launch in March of 2019, which is actually, that means it's going to compete with Anthem, because Anthem is also scheduled to release. So Jason Schreier today on Twitter put it just right. Only one of those games is going to win that month. It's either going to be Anthem or the Division 2.
Oh, that's hard. And I don't know if I'm supposed to share this, but I pre-registered for the EA Play event that's coming up next month.
Nice.
So my goal is to go out there and hopefully see a first-hand reveal of Anthem, which I will be able to report back to.
Yes.
And I feel like we're going to see an Overwatch Battleborn moment. We're going to see one come up and one come down. The question is which one at the end, and I feel like it's going to come down to marketing, because they're both going to be potentially good, but which one's going to stand out more?
Yeah, I feel like Anthem can do good in story-wise. I'm just worried about game mechanics, because BioWare is not that good in creating game mechanics, but their stories are good. And with the Division, I felt like the story was good, but I feel like they really have to keep us interested. So that's, which I've heard with the new Division update, they have been able to bring back players. So that game may be good, but hopefully they can be able to keep us interested for a long time. And Anthem,
well, I mean, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, with Anthem, the game mechanics, they have to do it right. Because in Destiny, it feels good to shoot. The shooting and everything feels good. But if it doesn't feel good in Anthem, I'm going to put it down, of course.
I completely agree. And that's where Destiny has really done what Division did. I mean, when they had the community summit, Division was the first person to admit their faults when, Division 1.2 came out, and it flopped. It was extremely bad. Even the developers said, you know what, we really shit the table on this one. It's part of my language.
No,
and
you're fine.
And they did exactly what Destiny just did. They requested community feedback. They said, here's what we need to do. You guys are the ones to make it happen. And their game is now successful. This is Destiny's chance to do the same.
And just the fact that Anthem is by EA. It's by EA. So EA, they have... I don't believe in them too much, so because look what happened with Battlefront 2. It was a disaster. The game wasn't even out yet, and it was a disaster. So, like, just a few months ago, if you have to talk about microtransactions before your game even has a reveal, really, then that's an issue already. So I'm curious to see how Anthem is going to be. I can't wait to see it at EA this year. I mean, at E3 this year. So if you play it, if you would like to come back on and report back to us of how it felt, that would be awesome.
I would absolutely. The same thing with things like Kingdom Hearts 3.
And I believe Red Dead is going to be there this year at E3. Just some other
Spyro.
Yeah. It's just so Destiny. Hello, I forgot about that. Destiny's gonna be at E3 this year, even though they haven't confirmed it yet. But we all know they're gonna be at E3 this year. Hopefully, they have a nice presence at E3, because last year they was just showing up at press conferences. No, not last year. The year before that for Rise of Iron. That's when they was just showing up.
I think there's only three things or three letters that everybody wants. SRL.
Yes, SRL. Yeah, SRL. Please, Bungie. But don't make a whole event dedicated to that. Like, also have things for other players who do not play SRL. Like, it's hard to please everyone, but I feel like you can't just dedicate the whole event to SRL.
Yeah.
And that's that. And then Sea of Thieves is gonna have its first expansion at the end of this month. I believe it's May 29th. And then No Man's Sky, yeah, that game is still around, guys. It's coming to Xbox One, so I'm excited for that. I'm actually going to play it. I'm going to see how it is. Hopefully it's good. It's actually going to get multiplayer also, so it's going to have a free update for all its platforms. I believe, don't quote me on it, but July 27th or July 24th. It's either one of those 2 days.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah, E3 this year, I'm excited to see what other games are going to come out.
I really feel like we're reaching out to the era of the remasters. I feel like remastered games are going to be this year's hot ticket. I mean, Crash Bandicoot did it, and Kingdom Hearts did it with their remastered collection last year. And I would love to see games like Super Mario RPG come out and do things like that.
Oh yeah, even I saw some rumor that GTA 4 may have a remastered this year, and that was a fun GTA to play. Even though some of the mechanics weren't that great, it was still a fun game to play. So yeah, and plus I'm dying for another GTA game. It's been years? It's been years at Rockstar.
Same thing with Elder Scrolls. We need another Elder Scrolls game. I'm tired of playing Skyrim 7 times.
Yeah, Bethesda, guys. Yeah, I'm excited.
Same.
So, let's move on to the show where our hosts here usually tell me something I don't know. So since it's just you here today, Jake, do you mind telling me a random fact? Tell me something I don't know.
Yeah, I'm having marriage fever. Yeah, it's like I'm at the point in my life getting my master's degree. I've got a business license. My hope is to open up businesses very soon.
Nice.
I'm a very successful teacher. I'm doing the charity event direction. I'm tired of doing this on my own, man. I want to be married and have a family. And actually, the last couple of weeks have been bad, dude. Like I've been really, really wanting that.
Yeah. Oh, I completely understand. Good luck, man. But my advice is don't rush it. Take your time. I'm still young too. We're all young. I'm trying to enjoy life.
Of course. No, 100%.
Yeah. But nice. My random fact is a bit weird. Did you know that bananas are curved because they grow towards the sun?
Is that a true thing?
I believe so. Yeah. That's a random fact. I think that's good information to know.
I did not know that. If that's real, I'm freaking out. I'm mind blown.
Yeah. I was mind blown when I read that also. Our other co-host here, J-Ram, always has like a random math fact for us because he's a math professor. So always comes on and just has like a random, and it is actually pretty good. Even though it's like a math lesson, it's actually a really cool fact. So nice. But it sucks he couldn't be here tonight.
Oh, no.
And for our last word segment, so there's always something good that's happening in the community, despite even not just in the Destiny community, just in the video game community as a whole. So tonight's last word is actually going to go to you, Jake, because you are doing something great in Las Vegas. You are creating the charity event, raising money for St. Jude, which is amazing. So just thank you for everything that you do.
Always.
Thank you. So you will get tonight's last word. All right, Jake.
well, the question is, what do you want to know? Do you want me to just share, or?
Just where did you you talked about your idea for it. Like, how much money are you guys planning on raising for St. Jude?
$50,000 is our hope. Even if we hit 10,000, it'll be a massive success. I mean, the last two events that we've had under the name Vanguards was 1,300 and 2,000 respectively. So it's getting better.
Oh, wow, nice.
But I'm one of those people that likes to take something that people say is quote unquote impossible and make it possible. I don't like failure. I don't like people telling me that failure is an option or impossible is an option. And it bothers me.
Nothing is impossible. You just gotta work hard for it. You just gotta work hard for it.
Exactly. And that's really how this event came into play, because, people said, oh, Destiny's not competitive. And I really was like, how can I prove them wrong in one large fell swoop? And I really think that having a world-renowned, one of the largest hotels in the world say, yeah, bring your event here, I think that right there speaks.
Yeah,
exactly.
When I first heard about it, I was like, wow, this is awesome. Because the first time I saw it, it was right after the Fortnite event at that hotel with Ninja and Dr. Lupo. And next thing I hear that Destiny's going to have an event there and you're hosting, I'm like, whoa, wow. Like, it's great. It's great. And just thank you for all that you're doing. And I'm really curious and excited to see how this event plays out in June.
Thanks, man. It's so weird to think 2 years ago, you start a content creation career, you don't know what you're going to do. Like, you're just walking around Guardian Con, obviously meeting, awesome people like you. And then now you're able to do all of these like major large things that have the chance to not only shape the community but the game itself.
I agree. Like Guardian Con back in 2016, I believe that was the first one in Tampa.
A couple years ago, I think 2014, 15.
Oh, yeah, it was something like that. That actually inspired me to be a content creator. That inspired me to actually, so that's just amazing. Just meeting everyone, seeing what everyone do, it was just awesome.
Yeah, seriously.
So thank you so much for joining us this week here on the DTR podcast. It was great having you on. It was awesome.
Thank you for having me, man.
Anytime. So where can we find you on social media?
Social media, I'm only on 2 places. I'm on twitch.tv/TheJakeParker or on Twitter @Parker on Twitch. I don't deal with Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, or whatever. It's too much for me.
So where can we find this event on social media?
The event is, most of it, actually, all the events information is going to be on my pinned tweet @Parker on Twitch. And esports, I want to say esportsarenalasvegas.com. Let me, actually, it's right here. Yeah, esportsarenavegas.com. You'll find all of the information. They're going to be updating their website in the next couple days with all of that information.
Sweet. I'm excited. So you guys can find Destiny Tracker on Twitter @DestinyTrack, on YouTube @DestinyTracker, and the Tracker Network. You guys can find me on Twitter @J_DTR. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the DTR podcast. Again, Jake, thank you so much for joining us this week. You were awesome.
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate you.
Anytime. All right, Guardians, we'll see you all next week. Bye.